My wife cheated and tried to take half my house in the divorce, so I exposed her in court and walked away with everything. I am 37. Never thought I'd be that guy, the one with the crazy ex story. But here I am, divorced, bitter, and still shaking my head at how fast someone you love can turn into your worst nightmare. And it all started because my wife, Emily, 35, couldn't keep her affair off her phone. Emily and I were together for 8 years, married for 5. We weren't rich, but I worked my ass off to provide a good life. I'm a contractor, spent 3 years building our dream home with my own 2 hands on land my late father left me. Every nail, every beam, every floorboard, I did that. Emily worked part-time as a yoga instructor and handled the decorating. We had no kids, but we had plans. Or at least, I thought we did. Things started feeling off about a year ago. She got distant, cold, but claimed it was stress and hormones. I tried harder, took her out on dates, bought her flowers, hell, even went to couples therapy when she said I didn't emotionally support her enough. I blamed myself. I thought maybe I wasn't doing enough. Then, one night, I came home early from a job and found her phone buzzing like crazy on the counter. She was in the shower. Notifications from someone named Jason, PT. Curiosity got the better of me. I opened it. Let's just say, I now know more about Jason's anatomy than I ever wanted to. Graphic texts, pictures, voice notes where she called me boring and bragged about how Jason makes her feel alive. My heart stopped. I felt sick. I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I took screenshots of everything. I quietly backed up her phone's messages to a cloud account she didn't know I had access to. I even planted a voice-activated recorder in our bedroom, just in case. Call it paranoia, but I had a gut feeling this would get ugly, and I was right. 2 weeks later, she sat me down and told me she wasn't happy and needed space. I nodded. She moved out and stayed with her sister. A month later, I got the papers. She filed for divorce and wanted half the house. Half my house. The one I built before we were married, on my dad's land, with money from my business. Her claim? Marital asset, since we lived in it together. Her lawyer even argued that she helped with decor and emotional support during construction. At first, I was stunned. Then, I got angry. And finally, I got focused. If she wanted a war, I was ready. I didn't say a word. I didn't beg, didn't argue. I lawyered up and waited. Because I had a plan. I spent the next few weeks compiling every bit of evidence. The screenshots, the voice notes, the texts, the recordings. I even had GPS data from our shared car showing her frequent overnight stays at Jason's apartment during our marriage. I printed and organized everything into a thick, neat binder titled Property and Infidelity Evidence, Emily R. My lawyer told me infidelity wouldn't matter much in property division, but if we could prove dissipation of assets or immoral behavior affecting the marriage, a judge might see reason. I wasn't banking on morality. I was banking on strategy. I also had something neither Emily nor her lawyer knew about. A recorded confession. Emily had broken down crying one night, thinking I was asleep. She whispered to her best friend on the phone, saying how guilty she felt, how Jason was just a phase, and how she hoped I'd never find out until the house was settled. That call. It was all on tape. I didn't play it yet, but I would. The court date was set. Emily came in confident, fake tears ready, dressed like a Lifetime movie victim. She thought this was her victory lap. She had no idea what was coming. The courtroom smelled like cheap sanitizer and stale stress. I sat there in my suit, calm, collected, and holding the binder that would flip everything on its head. Emily strutted in with her lawyer, dressed in beige like she was the grieving widow of a marriage she herself murdered. She didn't even look at me, just sat with her nose in the air, pretending she was the wronged party. We were first on the docket. The judge, a sharp older woman with a no-nonsense glare, started by asking both lawyers for a summary of the case. Emily's lawyer painted a picture of a doting wife who was emotionally neglected by her workaholic husband and therefore co-created a marital residence with significant personal and emotional labor. Translation: she lit incense and picked out curtains. Then it was our turn. My lawyer, Mr. Duncan, mid-50s, bulldog in a suit, spoke slowly, clearly. He stated that we would be contesting Emily's claim to the house on 2 major grounds. The property was premaritally acquired and built solely by me using personal assets. There was substantial evidence of marital misconduct and intent to deceive regarding the property division. Emily's face tightened. Her lawyer objected to the relevance of personal matters. Duncan smiled. Your Honor, if I may approach the bench, I have something you'll want to see. He handed the judge a flash drive and the binder. She scrolled through the evidence as Duncan explained. Your Honor, here we have dozens of text messages between Mrs. R and a man identified as Jason, confirming a prolonged extramarital affair. We have screenshots of conversations where she discusses concealing the affair until property settlements are finalized. We also have GPS logs and photographic evidence placing her overnight at another man's residence while married. Finally, there's an audio recording that, with your permission, we'd like to play in court. Emily's lawyer protested. This is character assassination. The judge raised her hand. If these messages suggest intentional deception relating to property division, they are absolutely relevant. Play the recording. Duncan pressed play. Emily's voice filled the room, nervous and trembling. He doesn't know. He thinks I'm just going through something. Jason says I should wait until the house is legally half mine. Then I'll tell him everything. I'll be set. I can't deal with being broke again. I worked too hard for this. Silence. Emily went pale. Her lawyer leaned over, whispering something urgent. She looked like she wanted to disappear into her chair. The judge folded her hands. Mrs. R, do you deny that this is your voice? Emily's lips quivered. I was confused. I didn't mean. No, yes or no? The judge interrupted. Emily looked down. It's me, she mumbled. And that's when it flipped. The judge's demeanor changed. Given this evidence, I am deeply concerned about the intention behind your property claim. It appears there was premeditated dishonesty designed to manipulate the legal process. Emily's lawyer tried to pivot, asking that her emotional state be considered and that division of assets should still proceed as normal. But the judge wasn't buying it. Emotions don't override facts, she said sharply. We took a recess. Outside the courtroom, Emily finally approached me for the first time since this all started. Her voice was shaking. You really recorded me? I stared at her. I built that house with my hands. And you tried to steal it after cheating on me for months. What did you expect? She started to cry, probably more from embarrassment than remorse. You've ruined me. I leaned in, quiet but firm. No, Emily. You ruined yourself. The recess ended. I walked back in, ready for the final blow. We returned to the courtroom, and the tone was completely different. Emily, who'd walked in earlier looking smug, now sat slouched and wide-eyed. Her lawyer whispered constantly, probably trying to find any last lifeline to salvage her case. Judge Reynolds, still stern but now visibly irritated, shuffled through the binder of evidence once more before adjusting her glasses. I've reviewed the materials submitted by the respondent, she began. This includes detailed and credible evidence of extramarital conduct, premeditated concealment of that conduct, and an explicit plan to mislead the court for financial gain. Emily's lawyer tried to object again. Your Honor, with all due respect, family court should consider emotional context. The marital home was shared. Judge Reynolds cut him off. Let me stop you right there. This court is not in the business of rewarding manipulation. The petitioner admitted, on tape, to planning to withhold the truth in anticipation of a more favorable property division. That directly impacts the integrity of her claim. I could almost see Emily shrinking in her seat. Then the judge turned to me. Mr. R, you've provided ample proof of ownership. Tax records, title deed, and receipts all confirm the property predates the marriage and was funded by personal inheritance and labor. As such, I am ruling that the property is not a marital asset. Boom. Emily gasped softly. I didn't even look her way. But given that the couple lived together in the home, Mrs. R is entitled to a modest reimbursement for actual contributions made during the marriage. She flipped a few pages. Based on documented expenses, groceries, furnishings, and utilities, this comes to $8,420. I could have laughed. She wanted half of a $500,000 house. She got $8,000. And let me be clear, the judge added, this decision reflects not only the financial facts, but the intentions behind them. Manipulating this court wastes time, resources, and damages the very concept of fairness. Emily's lawyer asked for a recess. The judge granted it, clearly done with the theatrics. Outside, I stepped away to take a breath. The adrenaline was still coursing through me. Months of betrayal, anger, and planning had just paid off, and it felt good. About 10 minutes later, Emily approached me again, this time without tears, without pretense. Just empty. Why did you do this? She asked quietly. I turned to her. Because you didn't just cheat on me. You tried to rob me afterward. You planned it. You lied to my face and used our marriage like a setup. She looked away. I was scared of being alone. Then maybe, I said calmly, you shouldn't have lied, cheated, and tried to steal a house you didn't build. She opened her mouth to say something else, then thought better of it. Later, back inside, the judge finalized everything. Divorce granted. Property awarded to me in full. Emily was ordered to vacate the house within 30 days and had to forfeit any claim to spousal support due to her intentional deceit. We left the courtroom and that was it. I went home, to my home, and stood in the living room for a long while. It felt different now. The shadows she left were gone. It wasn't a war zone anymore. Just a place I built. A place I kept. A place no one could take from me again.